how to proceed with your application. If you're wanting to apply, you need to define a project. So applying for the award should be approached as a project on its own, because there are several things to organize, there are deadlines to be met, and there are activities to be carried out. So make sure your organization understands the objectives of the awards process in order to get the full benefits. It would be wise to train your team so they understand the project excellence model and understand what the assessor group is coming to do. And understanding the model is essential for writing a good report. Now, for you potential applicants, there will be a webinar organized on April 11th, that is 11th of April at 12 o'clock GMT +1. This webinar will also be announced on the IPMA.World Awards website, and this webinar will focus on how to prepare an application report. So for you potential applicants, mark your calendars, 11th of April at 12 o'clock GMT +1. We will be providing information on how you can prepare your application report. Another way of doing this is what's happened this weekend also, is that you can send your people or representatives from your project team to the assessment training, so they can see how the criteria are being interpreted by the assessors or the potential assessors, and they can understand the process. It's very helpful if people attend the training, because then they understand the way the whole award process takes place. Third step we would suggest is select a project and write the application report. Make sure that your project meets the criteria for the award. We have 3 award categories that will be defined later on. It's the medium, large, and mega-size category. And writing the application report is an essential part of the whole process. So remember that it will take time to do this well. So depending on the size of the category that you're applying into, in the medium-sized category, you will hand in a 15-page report, and in the large and mega-sized category, you will hand in a 35-page report. The deadline for the application is April 4th, so that's the 4th of April, and we would like to invite you to hand in your applications as soon as possible, because that will allow us to also better plan the assessment teams. So 4th of April is the deadline for handing in applications to compete in the Project Excellence Award process 2016, but please don't wait until the deadline to hand in your application. If you know you can hand in the application report sooner, there is a format on the website that you can use for this purpose. 4th step is plan and execute the site visit. This will be your first contact with the assessment team. If you are a medium-sized project, you will have an assessment team of about 3 assessors. If you are a large or a mega-sized project, you will have an assessment team of 5 assessors who will visit you for a 3-day interview visit. Now, the site visit gives you a chance to show and approve and provide all the additional information about the project and answer all the questions that the assessors have. Usually beforehand you will be given an overview of some of the topics that should be discussed at the site visit, so it's not a secret what's happening. And the final step is celebrate and improve. So celebrate your success during the award gala. This is when the finalists, the winners and the award winners are announced. And you will also receive the feedback report, which includes all the assessment input from the assessors. Now, the feedback report contains an overview of strong points identified by the assessment team, as well as areas of improvement in all the sub-criteria. So it's per sub-criteria. It will help you use your strengths better and plan your improvements. What kind of award levels do we have? In each category, there's a gold winner, a silver winner, and a bronze winner. And finalists that do not receive one of these winner prizes are selected for the category Committed to Excellence. Now, the category committed to excellence means that many initiatives have been taken in order to achieve excellence, and the project management, the project leadership is focusing on creating and achieving excellence in the project or in the organization. But there just happen to be projects which did it better in their category. So be the one to be internationally recognized and apply for the awards process. I'll give you an overview of the different organization or teams involved and the planning. If you look at the top level as applicants, the second webinar, which is the first little purple block on the left, is taking place today. The deadline for submitting your application form is April 4th, but again, you can hand it in sooner if you like. The webinar, in order to help you understand how to prepare the assessment process or prepare the application report, is April 11th, and the deadline for submitting the application report is May 9th. So as you can see, there's about 3 months left until you need to hand in your application report. At the same time, assessors and potential assessors are participating in the Project Excellence Award assessment trainings. Because we have introduced a new model, there are many trainings taking place this year to make sure that everyone's trained. Now, not only the assessors have been trained, the trainers themselves have been trained, and all jury members have entered into this training process. So it's rather large groups that are going for the training to learn about the new model. The Award Project Management Office at this time will confirm any application submissions and organize the training, and is responsible for helping set up the assessment teams on the basis of your sector and the type of project you are handing in. The second phase of the Project Excellence Awards process is the first assessment and the site visit. So in the period between May 9th and June 27th, you as applicant will be preparing for the site visit, as suggested before. The assessors will have to do several things. This is where the most important part of the assessment process for them is taking place. So they will first carry out an individual assessment. At this time, the assessors in the assessment team do not know who else is on the team. Only the team leader is aware of who the assessors are in the team. Now, this is to make sure that all the individual assessments take place individually. Second step in the assessment process for them is the team virtual meeting, when there's a Skype meeting organized to discuss big variations that the assessors have in scores. It is also used to define, make a list of people they would like to speak to and interview at the site visit, and it's also used to define the documents they would like to see during the site visit. The site visit itself will take place in the week of 27th to 29th of June. So this is a very important date for you all to mark in your calendars. This is the date that's been communicated to all the assessors since last year already, and these are the dates also communicated to applicant organizations. This is the week where the site visit should take place. Now, if it's some big problem with these dates, then please let the Award Project Management Office know, and then possibly some movements could be made, but in principle, we would like the site visit to take place in this week. 2 weeks later, the jury receives all the results from the assessment teams, and only the jury is able to assess whether or not your project is candidate for a prize or an award. The assessment teams do not know who the other projects are, so they are not able to provide this information. The jury has their first meeting also in this phase, and a new element of the jury and assessment team relationship is that 2 jury members are assigned to each applicant organization or each team lead assessor, and there's a lot of discussion going place, and the team leaders interviewed before the first and the second jury report to describe some of the context around the results of the team assessment. At this stage, the Project Management Office collects all the feedback reports from the assessor teams. All the reports from the assessor teams, prepares the jury reports, and helps with press releases. The final phase in the awards process is the final decision in the award ceremony. So the applicant, this organization, it will be announced to you by the middle of July whether or not your project has become a finalist in this competition. And if you are a finalist, and if you are interested and would like to come anyway, then we would suggest that you prepare for the award gala and the IPMA Congress, where the announcement is made of who are winners and who are award winners. Before the end of July, so after the site visit, the assessment team is responsible for preparing the feedback report. This is the product that is delivered to all applicants on the basis of their applications and site visit interviews. And in the weekend of July 23rd and 24th, the second jury meeting takes place. The team lead assessors are interviewed, and the jury decides if there is a winner and who are the winners. The award gala and IPMA Congress is where all the events for applying applicants and finalists takes place, and it's where also you will receive the feedback report. Now, this date on the bottom of this page you need to not write down, because it's most likely that the award gala will take place not in Sydney, and probably sometime earlier, but we will let you know as soon as possible. It's being worked on at the moment, so it's probably not taking place in Sydney. Here on the bottom of the page you see also the requirements I discussed before about the application report limits and the site visit limits. The 3 categories that we have for the awards are medium-sized, big-sized, and mega-sized projects. So the criteria that we use to describe these categories are as follows. For big-sized projects, the project needs to have a realization period of at least 1 year, and mega-sized project at least 2 years. For all projects entering, they need to have been finished. We need to be able to assess the project results, and that means that the project needs to have been finished and also finished financially in order to be assessed the financial excellence. Project deployment means that the project needs to have been running for at least 3 months in the medium and the big size projects, and at least 6 months for the mega size project. And this again is for the area of project results, in order to be able to assess what the effects are, and to assess to see if the, for example, percentages of KPIs that have been defined in terms of realization of certain, maybe in industry projects, levels of waste or levels of noise reduction. Only after 3 or 6 months are you able to assess whether or not this has been achieved, and to assess if maybe the results are better than were actually prognosed. For medium-sized projects, there is no budget restraint. For big-sized projects, we would expect them to be at least €5 million, and mega-sized project more than €100 million. The number of people involved in the project: medium-sized projects, no limits; big-sized project, at least 50; and mega-sized projects, at least 100. The external subcontractors and independent organizations involved: medium and big-sized projects, at least 1; and mega-sized project, at least 3. And for all projects, having a multicultural characteristic, so having, for example, contractors from other countries or working with other nationalities is an advantage to prove your excellence. What are the costs involved with applying for the awards? The early bird registration is finished already, but if you would like to enter into the medium-sized project and you are a corporate member, then it will cost you 4,500 euros. If you are one of the National Project Excellence Award winners, then you get a discount in all categories. Big-sized project applications will cost 6,500 euro and mega-sized projects 8,500 euro. If there are more than one project applying from a company, we also have a discount tariff, but we do say no more than 2 applications per year from one company should apply. If we have an application coming from a university or non-governmental organization, we have another discount possible. So for every second application, there's a 10% discount, a third application 15%, and a fourth application 20% discount. There is no limit on the amount of applications in this category. Applicants that are selected for a site visit by an IPMA assessment team will also be required to cover the costs of the travel of the assessment team, as well as the sustenance costs, which means the flight tickets, the hotel nights, dinners, lunches, and if necessary, visa costs. Now, you don't pay anything for the hours that the assessors put into it. It's an in-kind contribution that is provided by a very enthusiastic assessor pool of people willing to dedicate their free time to carry out this assessment. So IPMA Project Excellence Award assessors aren't paid for their contribution. For most of them, for me as well, it's a very interesting learning experience, something that I really like doing. Now, in the case that you have to withdraw your application, we will ask you to cover some of the fee costs. If the application report has not yet been submitted before the deadline as presented before, then 20% of the fee is required. If you already handed in your application report, then the total fee will be required to be covered. Now, this is because the assessment team will already be working on it. So, thank you. That was my final sheet. It's a lot of information, I realize, to be listening to in just 1 hour. There's a lot more to be told. Let me remind you of some of the important dates. The application deadline date is 4th of April. The application report, webinar will take place on the 11th of April. The trainings taking place in Europe, the next assessor training in Milan is full, but we would like to invite you to join the Detroit assessment training. The Project Excellence Award assessment training will take place on April 10th to 12th. And if you would like more information on this training, please go to the website www.ipma-usa.org. So go to the IPMA USA website and you can find the information on the Detroit training. And again, I'd like to invite all applicants to send 1 or 2 representatives to the training so you can understand the model and you will be able to write a better application report, which then in return will allow the assessment team to better evaluate your project. So it's a win-win situation all around. Again, we will send you, Eva will send you the slides of this presentation. And if you have any questions, let me have a look at the screen next to me. Okay. I've seen that Ava has answered all your questions in the meantime. Let me just remind you, once again, April is a very important month. 4th of April, deadline for your application. That is to let us know that you would like to enter into the competition with a project. On the 11th of April, the webinar and the training for understanding the Project Excellence model and understanding the assessment process, 10th to 12th of April in Detroit. There will also be trainings taking place in Kuala Lumpur and Kathmandu. Please look at our website, www.ipma.world/awards, and you can find more information. Thank you very much for listening. I look forward to, well, receiving your questions at the next webinar, and I look forward to seeing you at the trainings. Thank you so much for listening, and see you further on in this awards process. Thank you.